Yo, welcome back to J3 Entertainment. You guys know what time it is.
It's reaction time, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
What we're reacting to today, y'all?
10 infamous wrestling receipts.
Ooh.
This sounds fun. This sounds exciting.
Yeah, boy.
After y'all need sound effects. All right, so after me and C reacted to the last wrestling, I got a little wrestling fever, man. I ended up watching WrestleMania.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's funny too because I talked to this guy. He came to go watch WrestleMania, and he was just schooling me on so much wrestling content: AEW, Impact.
Yeah, man.
What is it? The Ring one.
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
He's just putting me on so much of this, and I was like, "Yo, this is crazy." And then I watched WrestleMania, and I was just impressed. You know, I was watching the Usos versus Sammy and Kevin Owens.
Okay.
And I was like, "Yo, this is dope."
He watched.
and then I seen Charlotte Flair versus
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley, and I was like, "Okay,
Yes.
I like what I'm watching, right?" And then
Charlotte
and then I seen Trish Stratus showed up and
Yep.
Lita showed up,
Yep.
and then I was like, Lita a little rusty, but Trish was still doing her thing,
Yeah.
man. You know?
Wait. Stratisfaction?
Yes, yes.
Let's go.
So I was
I'm
impressed.
watch after we
He
done.
watched. I went.
Okay.
It was
Yeah, he
tight.
went. He
it
went.
was tight.
Stratisfaction still in the game. That's what's
I
up.
went.
I like that.
And for those who follow me, you know that weekend I got my smoking skull belt that I've been trying to get for years.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations on that. Are you ready to contend for it?
What?
Man, you can't handle this.
What?
The triple threat match. We look like Sheamus and what was his name? Gunther.
Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a hard hit.
Yeah.
You ain't ready.
You want those slaps across the chest? Hey, but all I know
That's
is,
cool, man.
and you know it's crazy too. Got the whole WrestleMania, all that stuff. Even Rey Mysterio versus his son Dominic. The best match to me was that triple threat.
Yeah, it was tight.
That was a good match. And then also I liked Bianca Belair and Belair and what's the girl?
Asuka.
Asuka. I like that match. Bianca.
Man, Cody and Roman Reigns tore the house down.
Yeah.
But my favorite match was one of the openers from night one, which was the Street Profits.
Oh yeah. They came up. But anyway, it's not about that.
It's about this.
Let's get into this reaction. Basically, we got wrestling fever.
I want to hear more of them stories.
Bro,
After
all right, so
y'all open the door.
what is it? 10 infamous.
10 infamous wrestling receipts.
All right, because
Yeah.
I feel like we should have did a video on WrestleMania alone, man. That match was kind of cool. They stole that one. They stole that one. All right, let's get into this reaction, y'all. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, them dudes did. That was funny. All right, y'all guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and react to this thing right here. And here we go.
In wrestling, opponents have to be on the same page in order to complete a match. But despite this, miscommunication can lead to wrestlers actually getting angry with one another in the ring. This can result from real life bad blood or involve physical receipts being dished out in the match. A traditional receipt occurs when a wrestler accidentally cracks his opponent stiff in the jaw, to which they can then expect something hard to come right back. In this video, we look back to these times where specific wrestlers gave out a receipt during their matches. Brock Lesnar was never shy in the ring, and if you stiffed him in the ring, he would let you know about it. One occasion was at the 2018 Royal Rumble, where he dished out a receipt to Braun Strowman after he kneed Brock hard in the face. Lesnar responded with a solid right hand, while telling the Monster Among Men to slow the fuck down.
Strowman, that clubbing. Oh, wow. A knee to the jaw. A knee to the jaw. He caught Lesnar good. A knee to the jaw. Brock got him back.
Bruh,
But this wasn't the only time Brock
heavyweight
delivered a
champion.
receipt mid-match. During his bout with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 31, Reigns would deliver some stiff knee shots to Lesnar, which resulted in Brock getting legitimately pissed. He ended up slapping the snot out of Roman for the entire world to see.
That's a big hand.
Lesnar then followed that up with a ridiculously stiff clothesline, which sent Reigns flying out of the ring.
Damn, that's personal, bro.
From one big man to another, Big Show and Kofi Kingston locked up in 2009, and Kofi hit a jump kick to the jaw of the Big Show, which he didn't appreciate at all.
You know, in our business, this thing called a receipt. You bought that kick, let me give you the receipt with it.
Big Show kept that in mind for later in the match, where he would deliver a thunderous slap to Kofi's chest on the announce.
Whoa!
Sounded like a gunshot. podcast that
Good
this slap
God
is the
almighty.
reason why his chest is now looking sunken in.
It's what buyer's remorse, right? You know what I'm saying? I look in the mirror. Don't let me pass this sternum on to the
Chest
kids.
is gone.
Perhaps
He slapped
one
his
of the most
chest off.
shocking receipts witnessed in a match. Perry Saturn had his way with jobber Mike Bell during a match recorded for
remember Perry Saturn.
WWF Metal in May 2001. Saturn would say that he freaked out after being dropped on his head twice by Bell, and thus began laying into the enhancement talent for real. When Saturn returned to the locker room, he was greeted by Vince McMahon, who wanted an explanation as to what had happened out there. Saturn apologized and then checked to see if Bell was okay.
Beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Threw him outside the ring. He landed with, on his head on the concrete floor, and then Perry jacked him up and rammed him into the steps backward.
No wonder he had that damn mop.
Steps. He beat the crap out of him.
This likely resulted in him getting his mop gimmick as a punishment shortly after. While Saturn took teaching his opponent a lesson to the extreme, Diesel would get his message across at the 1994 Royal Rumble with some good old-fashioned live rounds delivered to the face of Virgil. Diesel would say that Virgil was supposed to come in, take a few hits, and quickly get eliminated, but instead, he stayed in the match, despite Diesel telling him he had to go. Virgil then angered Diesel by legit hitting him in the face, to which Big Daddy Cool responded with a barrage of stiff elbows before finally dunking Virgil out. During a brawl inside a densely-filled ring at ECW One Night Stand in 2005, JBL legitimately
Is that
laid
Tajiri over there?
leaving his face bloodied in the aftermath. Word had gotten out to JBL that in the years prior, the Blue Meanie mentioned he was a bully. This obviously lit a fire in Bradshaw's eyes, and when it came time to brawl at the end of the pay-per-view, JBL took this as an opportunity to pay him back. However, months later, in a match where JBL faced off against the Blue Meanie, Meanie picked up the victory via help from Batista. But before the pin, it was Blue Meanie's partner in crime with the BWO, Stevie Richards, making headlines, delivering one of the hardest to watch chair shots to JBL's head. It was a shot thrown so hard you could see the pure anger behind it. Stevie was sticking up for his friend here by delivering a well-deserved receipt to the bully. Speaking of chair shots, Undertaker would love giving a receipt back with a stiff chair shot. In 1997, as guest referee at SummerSlam, Shawn Michaels would clock the dead man with a chair at the end of the match, where he would reluctantly give Bret the win and he and Taker would enter their own program. However, Michaels realized that the blow was too forceful. And to end their Hell in a Cell match, he accepted a chair shot of his own from the dead man.
That's tight, bro. Shout out to the Heartbreak Kid.
That's respect, though.
My man said,
In
I
2005,
owe you
Randy
one.
Orton ended up rocking Taker with a chair where he mistakenly caught the Phenom with the lip of the chair, which ended up causing a huge gash. Undertaker told him backstage that his receipt would be coming.
He just looks at me. Don't worry, kid. Your receipt's coming.
Peace.
It wasn't until months later, at Armageddon 2005, where the dead man got his revenge, and he delivered a thunderous chair shot to the head of Randy Orton.
But he's in trouble.
In another incident with Taker, Shane McMahon ended up stiffing Taker with a monitor on a Raw before the WrestleMania match that caused him to get busted open.
Receipts.
Backstage, Undertaker let Shane know that his receipt was going to come later.
All right, it'll come later. And boy, did it ever.
Fast forward to WrestleMania 32, Shane got his comeuppance, as Taker would bear paw him with a monitor of his own on the outside of the ring.
Up and bear paws me. Whack! Wide open jaw. Oh my gosh.
Sticking with Shane McMahon, it's well known that his punches can look awful at times. But with the adrenaline pumping, he throws rapid combos, and when he doesn't miss completely, he lands them on his opponents flush in the face. One time he did this in particular was at Survivor Series 2016, where he blasted Chris Jericho clean in the face. The punch didn't look great, but caught Jericho on the nose, who took a powder and kicked the steel steps in an attempt to alleviate his frustrations. Shane was even more clumsy when Jericho re-entered the ring, which justified his response.
Dude, I jumped up and gave him like a Jean-Claude Van Damme double kick. I'm like, calm the fuck down.
Booker T appeared on the Steve Austin show and recollected that he received a well-deserved boot to the nose courtesy of Stone Cold. During the conversation, the former world champions talked about Booker accidentally tuning Steve during a match. Steve divulged that he's usually patient about doing out receipts for stiff shots, but the rattlesnake could not wait to strike back.
The receipt I remember getting back was a stomp right to the face when I was laying down on the ground. And it was a stiff shot right to the nose. I felt like I deserved that.
In
That's
1997,
tight, man. The
Ken
respect
Shamrock
level.
developed into a good wrestler by the standards of the time. He was notably stiff in the ring, and he and Vader would always have some brutal matches. However, on one occasion, at In Your House, A Cold Day in Hell, he may have gone a bit too far for the big man's liking. Familiar with the work-shoot genre only, and not the less intensive in-house style, he battered Vader with a series of strikes that didn't look great, but seemed really painful. Vader was seen on the outside telling Shamrock to ease up. But Shamrock was so eager that at one point, he left his feet while striking and went on to break the Mastodon's nose.
Shamrock broke my nose. Instead of kicking me here in the cheek, instead of leading my cheek in, he was turning my nose. He was reverting back to the shoe.
Who's this guy?
And he stuck his knee right in my nose, and it virtually broke my nose.
In response, Vader issued a receipt in the form of a clubbing forearm right in the ear. Vader knocked him clean off his feet. Shamrock actually denied that this was a receipt on the Kurt Angle podcast.
Hearing afterwards how people were talking about how Vader laid me out, I'm thinking to myself, what match are they watching? I mean, like, he threw a punch at me. I rolled with the punch, and I went down to sell it.
Whether you believe that this was a receipt or not, I'll leave that up to you. Our final moment comes from the 2005 Royal Rumble. Daniel Puder was a 2004 Tough Enough winner, and part of his rise to victory came on an episode of SmackDown where he challenged Kurt Angle to an amateur-style match. Putting his MMA experience to use, Puder caught Angle in a key lock, a hold that would have broken the former WWE champion's arm if referee Jimmy Corderas hadn't fast-counted Puder's shoulders to the mat. Appearing in the 2005 Royal Rumble, Puder was subjected to very stiff shots from Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, and Hardcore Holly, humiliating him in front of a worldwide audience before his elimination.
I had no clue what they were going to do. They treated me like crap. And
get your ass out of here.
There you have it, folks. A selection of some of the most famous...
That was raw, bro.
Oh, man.
That was raw, bro.
Excellent.
You know what I love about that whole video?
Oh, yeah.
The respect level.
Yeah. All right.
I'm really scared of the dead man and Stone Cold now. Your receipt's coming.
Mistake. Go ahead and get one back.
Whenever tells them ahead of time. You know your receipt's coming.
I don't know when, but it's coming.
That's great.
You got him in fear.
Bro, I love that. I love the calm the hell down.
Business.
Yeah.
You know.
No, you got to get that because you mess up and that's how you learn not to mess up.
Yeah. Like
it's business.
Eddie Guerrero, like, ooh.
That was great.
Young Buck.
It could be a televised event or it could be a pay-per-view event. Main event, you don't know when. Like I like that.
I'm gonna get you when you least expect it.
Yeah.
But I've heard about Ken Shamrock. I heard a lot of wrestlers did not like wrestling with him.
Well, yeah,
because he would.
Ken Shamrock was a legit fighter.
With that UFC mentality.
But yeah, and they rushed him out, and he didn't know how to pull his punches, so he was landing them.
I will say, I will say, yes and no. And the reason why is because he's a professional fighter. So are they.
Yeah.
And Ken Shamrock felt that he was better than them. That's why when he went back to UFC, when he went to UFC and all that stuff, he thought he was gonna really do that, make that noise. And then it was what Chuck Liddell was standing there.
Yeah.
Hello. So it's a real dude over there, huh?
Yeah.
So, Ken Shamrock, I heard that he would do the sharpshooter. He was really hurting wrestlers. They were like, "Yo, what are you doing? Like, it's
ease up,
ease up." And he would keep doing it. People didn't like wrestling. Like people didn't like wrestling with China.
Wow.
Like China was she was stiff.
Yeah.
That's why boys, I'm gonna get you, boys. Yeah. And then she do a little and it's like, oh my God. You know what I mean? But but nah, this was fun, man. The receipts, man. I love it. Stone Cold, man. You know that receipt coming, right?
What? It's coming.
Stone Cold. I'm usually a little more patient with my receipts, but this time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And Booker T. Early. This is what makes Booker T so epic. I felt like I deserved it.
And he said, in that moment, I felt like I deserved it.
I mean,
Shawn Michaels too.
Yeah,
Shawn Michaels said, I knew immediately.
Because you saw when he said, "Oh, I put too much in there." Oh shit.
Yeah. Because he was trying to get bread.
And then to tell the man, I owe you one. I owe you one.
Yeah, we gonna sell this one, bro.
And that fool rolled out of the way like, oh yeah, I got it. He set him up. Like those messed up.
That was tight,
man.
But guess what? It's not about us.
It's about y'all.
Post your comments down below. Let us know what y'all thought about the reaction, man. This was tight, man. This was fun.
Yeah.
I had a great time watching these, man. If you guys looking for more of those, man, let us know in the comments down below. Also, make sure you guys check out the original video. Give that video a like, too. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and press that subscribe button. Thumbs up this video. Don't forget to share. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. I'm J3.
Run the show, Ken.
Woo!
Ninja Assassin.
It's your boy C, y'all.
Road to 100,000 subscribers, guys.